What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Thomas. I'm the host of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. This is part 2 of the Thomas Take, as I'm joined by today Brandon Knapp. He is an avid Detroit Lions fan, knows his stuff. In case you were wondering, if you have not checked out the first 15 minutes of the Thomas Take, we talked about a lot of topics within the 2016 Detroit Lions. Brandon and me have a few things in common with our passionate fanhood of both of our football teams. Brandon is a Lions fan. I am a Buffalo Bills fan. And the Lions and Bills have a few things in common. We've had some tough times the last 15 to 20 years, but I really do, that there is light at the end of the tunnel for both franchises. And there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel for this football team, the Michigan Wolverines. And I really want to talk about what Jim Harbaugh has done for the program, and what is Brandon's take. So, Brandon, what is your take on the 2016 Michigan Wolverines, and what is your take on what Jim Harbaugh has done with the program since he took over as head coach?
Well, first off, Jim Harbaugh has really turned this program around. You know, after Lloyd Carr left, we hired Rich Rodriguez, figured he'd be a great replacement. Turned out to be a huge bust. And then we brought in Brady Hoke, had a great first year winning that Sugar Championship. Lost and continued to lose, had the huge Shane Morris controversy with the concussion. Lost him, and we were wondering who we were going to bring in. I mean, Dan Mullen was the leading candidate for Mississippi State, but we ended up getting our boy Harbaugh home, which is really great. And within the first year, I was expecting 7-5 last year. I was like, all right, it's first year, it's not going to be that big, you know, got to bring in scheme, got to bring in guys, and we ended up 10-3. Really, if we really want to dive deep, we could have been 11-2 if that went over Michigan State, but I'll move on from that heartbreak.
Yeah, that was awful.
But he had a top 5 recruiting class this year, brought in number one overall player, Rashad Gary.
You could say number one athlete. That guy is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, he's a freak. He's a monster. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah.
But this upcoming season, to me, it's kind of do or die, because we brought back a lot of people. Jake Butt, Jordan Lewis. I mean, Jabril Peppers couldn't leave, but now he has a chance to leave next year. J.U. Chesson, Amaro Darboh, Chris Wormley, just to name a few. A lot of these people are going to leave after this year. And it kind of reminded me of Ohio State's class a couple years back, where they still had Joey Bosa, Ezekiel Elliott for another year after winning that championship.
Yeah.
And this is our best time, because next year, 2017, we lose all these people, we don't win a championship. We may not have another good chance, I see, until 2018. So we get another good year to get these youngsters up, have them learn the game more, and by 2018 we'll have another good chance. But this is a do-or-die year for the Wolverines to win it. Or not, we have to wait another 2 years and see what we can do then.
I definitely agree with the majority of what you said. I think this year is a do-or-die year for them. The reason why is kind of similar to what you said, but I think more than anything, I feel like we can look at like X's and O's and who's on what team, and do they have better wide receivers versus their corners, and is their quarterback better than the other team? But really, it comes down to mental preparation in any case. And right now, I feel like there is no coach in college football that kind of fits that mentality than Jim Harbaugh. I mean, for lack of a better term, the guy he's a character. We'll just say that. He's a character. Whether you like him or not, he is as clear-cut as it's going to get. And he's either he's a live by the sword, die by the sword type coach. And I think that works well in Michigan, because Michigan hasn't had that sense of urgency in quite some time of really, they've had mediocre coach after mediocre coach that didn't have that same drive that Jim Harbaugh has. And obviously it helps that Harbaugh is a former Michigan alum, so he's going to put his stock in, all of his stock into that team. And I don't know if you'd agree with this or not, but he might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, given the fact that he had kind of an ugly end to to his NFL career, I'd say. Would you say that Jim Harbaugh, kind of going into this season and going into last year, do you think he had a chip on his shoulder and that's why they were as successful as they were? And do you think that, being that successful your first year, will it carry over to the second year? Is the momentum working in their favor?
I 100% agree. He has a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he fought his brother in the Super Bowl and lost, and now his brother heads over him all the time. Hey, I won a Super Bowl. What about you? Hey, I won a Super Bowl against you. What do you have?
Yeah.
And he's going to definitely have people who judge him after, having an ugly exit in the NFL. He's going to want to prove to them that he can win, because he couldn't win at Stanford, so he wants to prove he can win somewhere. And I really think we're going to have some momentum going into the season based off last year with, new players, new jerseys, first college football team with Jumpman jerseys. That's going to, if you look good, you're going to play good.
Yeah.
And I really think this year can be special. We got to definitely bring in some momentum, because if we don't have any of that momentum, we're going to kind of die down a little bit, maybe not do as good as we expected. But Harbaugh wants to prove everybody wrong. He wants to prove to people that are thinking he's going to go to Michigan for a year or two and leave. He wants to prove, no, I'm going to come here, win some championships, then retire. I extremely doubt he will be back in the NFL. A lot of Michigan people are saying the same thing, and he's said it over and over again, he's not going to go back.
Yeah,
I believe he ever would.
I agree with you 100%. The moment I saw that he was going to go to Michigan, I thought, okay, he's doing what he should have done probably before he went to San Fran. He's doing kind of what he was kind of destined to do as a coach, I feel.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds corny, but at the same time, what better way to go out if he can accomplish this than to win a national championship as a head coach of the team that you played college football. You quarterbacked, the Michigan Wolverines. It's one of the, many great quarterbacks that Michigan has had, along with, obviously, Tom Brady. That story is just interesting one in itself. But as far as, what Jim Harbaugh brings, what is your take on just I feel like rivalry-wise, do you think Michigan and Ohio State are obviously a rivalry that is unmatched in college football. But I'm a Notre Dame fan. I don't know if I've told you that, but I am. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I'm not as avid a college football guy as I should be, really, because college football is as exciting as anything involving football. It's really fun to watch. I just never find myself being able to watch it. I always miss it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But Michigan and Notre Dame really haven't had a good rivalry in a long time. Partially, much like the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills, Michigan has had some down-and-out times, and Notre Dame has had some down-and-out times. They had the crushing championship loss to Alabama, and besides that, they really haven't done anything. What do you think needs to be done in order for that, besides being successful, as in the terms of wins and losses, what do you think needs to be done in order to kind of market that matchup better? I feel like the NCAA and college football has kind of lost its luster with that matchup.
I would say, I'm just really glad first that they're bringing it back for 2 years. And I think to make it better again is to make it yearly.
Yes.
And you gotta have this game in prime time. If you don't have it in prime time, they have it around noon, 3:30. You're not gonna have that big of an interest. But prime time on ABC, it's gonna bring lots of people in, and you're gonna have a lot more people watching. It gets more intense. And also with Harbaugh now as the head coach, he's gonna make the game more intense already just by anything he's gonna say, anything he does. So he can bring in people. And Brian Kelly, he's kind of like Harbaugh, where he's kind of has his temper tantrums, which makes the game more exciting to watch, and it makes it more intense, and just the, I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but the intensity goes up a lot. So I really think it has to be at a good time. I mean, you have two great coaches that bring the game to a whole new level.
Yeah.
As long as we can get that, this should be better, a lot better than it used to be.
I'd say Harbaugh is like a Bill Cowher type coach, and I would say Brian Kelly is like a Belichick type coach. Harbaugh is like a rowdy type motivator, and Bill Belichick Brian Kelly gets pissed when he has to, not when he wants to. So, it's very interesting. College football is just as storied and such a classic sport with those classic rivalries, just like baseball. And I really hope to see Michigan and Notre Dame kind of take that main stage, as you alluded to, with them having a primetime slot. When they brought that back for 2 years, I was elated as a college football fan, because I needed something that was something that kind of made me excited about college football. It drew me to college football, the Michigan, rivalries, along with Notre Dame. And I feel like it's lost its luster. I hope it comes back. I hope it makes the comeback, but we'll see. Now, what's your final, if you were to have a final record prediction for the Detroit Lions and the Michigan Wolverines, where would you have them ranked, wins and losses? How many wins, how many losses will each team have?
Well, for Michigan, I just wrote an article. I don't think it's up yet, so I will let the fans here go to myfantasysportstalk.com, look for my Michigan season review. Just wrote that up. Yeah, I don't think it's out yet, but look for it the next couple days. Let's just say I'm sipping a lot of Kool-Aid this year for that one. Getting really good on the Kool-Aid. But for the Lions, though, we did a video on the Detroit Lions podcast a few months back, and we kind of did early season preview predictions. And I could have sworn I had them going 11-5. I'd have to look at the schedule and try and break it down more. Yeah. But I think at 11-5, if our offense can block, we need a block. If we can't block Matthew Stafford, we can't run, we can't pass, we're going to get screwed like we did last year. The defense, definitely, with DeAndre Levy coming back, that's going to help us a lot. Overall, like I said, 11-5, we should be able to make the playoffs. I mean, we should have made the playoffs last year. We got just out of Seattle, we got just out of Green Bay, and I mean, you could questionably say we got just out of St. Louis. That one's kind of iffy. Yeah, those 2 games went from 7-9 to 9-7 in a possible playoff berth. He's got to make sure officiating. It's Detroit versus everybody. That's our mentality here.
What was it you were saying?
Like you were saying earlier, Matt Stafford and Anquan Boldin don't really get recognition by the media, and I don't know what it is. It's something with Detroit media that nobody cares about, nobody likes. I will never forget this. I remember I was watching SportsCenter one day, and they were talking about the NFL, and on the sidebar it said like Detroit Lions, like something about that. So they're cool. What are they going to talk about? And it's all right. We're going to go on commercial break. We'll be right back. Come back. No Detroit Lions. They have a sidebar completely.
Yeah.
They don't even care about it.
We have a lot in common, and in talking to you, as far as like not just me and you personally, but me as a Bills fan and you as a Lions fan, it makes me want to pull my hair out every time I watch the NFL draft. And the only person that seems to have any knowledge as far as, and I'm going to miss this, to be quite honest, because he's not going to be on ESPN anymore, the only guy that has any knowledge as far as what is going on, really, at all with the Buffalo Bills is Chris Berman. When they pick, Chris Berman talks about the Bills, and nobody else chimes in. Maybe John Gruden, now that he's on it a little bit, but it's a real thing, and it's very frustrating as a fan, because you see teams that have been in the league not even a quarter, as long amount of time as the Lions and the Bills. I mean, you want to talk about the Lions, they date back long time ago, and the Bills date back to the 1960s, 1959, 1960. So, I really hope that the Detroit Lions make something happen this year. I kind of like seeing teams battle through adversity, and in some ways it's them against the world as far as Megatron leaving and things like that. They have a lot of motivation heading into this season to prove a lot of doubters wrong, and the Buffalo Bills do too. So let's hope that the Lions and the Bills shock the world. I'm a little bit worried about my Bills now that Reggie Ragland is out along with Shaq Lawson. But
is Sammy Watkins still hurt?
Sammy Watkins is still hurt. He has a similar injury to what Des Bryant had last season. So, but
okay.
I'm going to wrap up part 2. I'll be on with Brandon again for part 3. I got more questions.